Hello, everyone. My name is Greg Mooney. I am the IT and Security Evangelist here at Progress. And today we are going to be talking about the benefits of MOVEit Cloud and why you would want to use a cloud version of managed file transfer. So to start off, an important data point from Flexera, the 2020 State of the Cloud report, 59% of enterprises expect cloud usage to exceed prior plans due to COVID-19. Obviously, this is due to the nature of the new normal and having a remote workforce, as we have all become accustomed to over the past several months. And companies that may have not wanted to go to the cloud before or were hesitant and preferred on-premise solutions are now had to scramble and implement cloud solutions due to the remote workforce. So if you weren't using the cloud before, at this point, you really don't have a choice. So I'd like to talk a little bit about, how this has been the digital transformation in 2020. Companies who hadn't had plans for cloud adoption really were struggling to, adapt to a remote work environment, and they didn't have plans to exceed their cloud usage maybe versus 2019, and they had no plans to adjust their service level agreements, and they had no understanding of the security risks in the cloud, and how that data is being secured and handled when it's moving through the cloud. So this has shaken up a lot of IT teams around the world who had to immediately implement a way for employees to access data securely and move that data securely through the cloud from a remote location, as opposed to having an on-premise service where the IT person would have to manage and secure that data in those servers personally. So this, obviously, you don't want to be on location at an office, maintaining servers. So that's why the cloud has become very important. And there's two different types of cloud that, I would just like to point out. Obviously, there's the public and private cloud, which would be, say, something like AWS or Azure, where you are sharing resources, servers with other businesses or personnel in the cloud in a server farm, wherever Microsoft or Amazon or Google have those server farms. You wouldn't be able to see those due to the way it's set up, other businesses' data or anything. But you obviously would be sharing those servers with other companies. You wouldn't know who they were, but it's just important. That's kind of the difference between public and private, where private cloud, it's your own server in the cloud. You're not sharing it with anybody. You have a little more control over how that server is being handled, the provisioning of that server. And then hybrid is kind of a cross between both of those. So just a little more in depth into what I just talked about. Public cloud is kind of like your SaaS, platform as a service and infrastructure as a service solutions. Private cloud, is more, you could have your internal cloud that you kind of manage, or you could have an external cloud where you have a company such as, say, like a Rackspace or Microsoft or Amazon kind of provision that server for you, but you have more control, as opposed to the public cloud, where control is completely in the hands of the vendor, your cloud service provider. And then hybrid is, as I said before, a combination of both. So how are IT teams handling the issues of cloud security in 2020 and beyond? Obviously, the trade-off of moving data in the cloud will make companies a little hesitant. I think back in 2019, due to certain data protection regulations, such as the CCPA, California Consumer Protection Act, and the General Data Protection Regulation in the EU, companies may had thought about regressing back to a hybrid or on-premise solution if they were doing moving data and processing data in the cloud. And this is mostly due to wanting to have control in case of an audit, and understandably so. However, due to the the new normal and remote workforce, you don't really have that choice anymore. You need to have the cloud implemented. And based on a recent ISC2 survey, data loss is the biggest concern in the cloud. Obviously, what's going to become more prominent because everyone's using the cloud in some capacity now. Even if you hadn't before, now you are. Obviously, hackers, bad actors take notice to that, and data breaches in the cloud are going to become more prominent. More companies are, obviously operating in the cloud, and backdoors, malware, and ransomware are going to become more prevalent during the upcoming years because of this. And just because something's in the cloud, it doesn't mean companies like Microsoft, Amazon, or Google are going to make sure that data is being encrypted and secured in a compliant manner. You're gonna want to use an app or service, cloud service that is going to provide you, these types of, security controls and, tamper evident logging and, automation that will ensure that data security is, of utmost importance, because a lot of these companies, these cloud service providers, take limited responsibility when moving data in the cloud at rest and in motion, regardless of what service you're getting. If they were to be breached in any capacity, which may be rare, but this could become more of a concern in the future, you're still going to be on the hook, and you could face civil suits, fines for basically not complying with CCPA or GDPR or any other data protection regulation around the world, depending on where you're processing personal identifiable information. So what are the important things about data protection in the cloud? You need end-to-end encryption at rest and in motion. You're going to need multi-factor authentication to ensure that who has access to these cloud apps and services, they are who they say they are. This will make sure that you can, instead of just using what I call the weakest link in security, a password, where an employee's personal password could be used in their business environment, and this could translate over. If that password were to be stolen, then you have a data breach on your hands. Multi-factor authentication kind of avoids this, because then it allows your end users to authenticate through another device to make absolutely sure that that person is who they say they are when they're accessing your cloud apps and services. And in conjunction with that, you're going to want single sign-on, which with multi-factor authentication, because then it makes it easy. You can just log in through one portal, and you don't have to keep logging in over and over again to the various cloud apps and services that you're using. And this will make it much easier for your end users, so that they don't end up going to use some type of shadow IT, and this kind of relates to ease of use as well. And then you want tamper evident logging if you're moving data in the cloud, because you want to know where that data is, who has access to that data, when they have access to that data, and whether it's internally or externally with your business partners. And in case of an audit, you're going to want to have those logs readily available, so that you can easily show them that you have been securing and encrypting data at rest and in motion to the high standard. So how can a managed file transfer solution like MOVEit Cloud, which is the managed file transfer solution Progress provides, help? So here is basically the MOVEit Cloud architecture, as opposed to using, say, your homegrown FTPS, SFTP, or HTTPS, your own servers, or your own on-premise solutions or homegrown solutions. You can use our SaaS solution, MOVEit Cloud, to kind of transfer this data. We manage these servers to the highest standard. We make sure we got your back in ensuring that that data is secure at rest and in motion, whether it's residing on a cloud server, or if it's moving through our servers to an external partner or another internal person, such as peer-to-peer. So this is kind of the benefits of MOVEit Cloud, as opposed to you having to provision your own servers and maintain and manage those. We can do that for you with MOVEit Cloud. And we are audit certified. As you can see here, we are PCI DSS certified, HIPAA high-tech certified, and we are also GDPR ready, meaning we can help make sure that you are secure and compliant with the GDPR, as well as the CCPA, which is going to become more of an issue as more states across the U.S. start passing their own legislation for data protection. So That is the basic infrastructure, and it can also connect to automation over here, our MOVEit automation suite, where we can automate the movement of this data for you if you need to have you meet certain SLAs. And the point is that having a third-party managed file transfer solution in a SaaS environment, you basically get to sleep well at night knowing that we got your back, that data is being moved. It's being moved without data corruption. The data is what it was when it was being sent to when it's being received. And in a nutshell, that is why you would want to use a SaaS solution like MOVEit Cloud. Now, if you have any further questions on how MOVEit can help you, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at mooney@progress.com. You can also try MOVEit yourself at ipswitch.com. That's IPSWITCH.com. And you can also get free demos there. Thank you so much for joining me today, and you have a great day.